The heart valve diagnosis came 4 months before my sister's 30th birthday bash. I was 29 working as a venture capital analyst when the cardiologist showed me the echocardiogram results. Mitral valve prolapse with severe regurgitation, Dr. Rachel Morrison explained, her finger tracing the failing valve on the screen. You need open heart surgery within 8 weeks. Without it, you're looking at heart failure by next year. My hands shook as I called my parents. Dad answered, his voice distracted. Olivia, make it quick. We're finalizing the venue for Natalie's party. The yacht club finally confirmed. Dad, I need open heart surgery. My mitral valve is failing. Silence. Then, open heart surgery? That seems extreme. You're 29. Did you get a second opinion? The cardiologist was very clear. I need surgery within 2 months or I'll go into heart failure. Mom got on speaker. Olivia, Dr. Morrison is known for being overly aggressive. I looked her up, she does these procedures for the insurance money. Your father's golf partner had the same thing and just takes medication. Mom, the regurgitation is severe. Medication won't fix a mechanical valve problem. Well, this timing is terrible. Natalie's party is in 12 weeks. We've invited 200 people including Dad's entire firm. We need you there, not recovering from some optional procedure. It's not optional. Everything's optional, sweetie. Push it to after the party. 3 months won't make a difference. Natalie needs her sister. Dad cleared his throat. Your mother's right. Schedule it for after Natalie's celebration. We'll all feel better not worrying about you during the party planning. My sister Natalie was a corporate attorney at Dad's firm, the golden child who could do no wrong. Her 30th birthday had somehow become a 4-month planning extravaganza rivaling most weddings. I got a second opinion. The cardiologist was even more urgent. 6 weeks maximum. This valve is deteriorating faster than normal. You're at risk of sudden cardiac death. I scheduled the surgery for 8 weeks out, 4 weeks before Natalie's party. When I told my family at Sunday dinner, Natalie's fork clattered onto her plate. You're doing this on purpose. You can't stand that I'm finally getting the recognition I deserve, so you're making up medical emergencies. Natalie, I have cardiac imaging. 2 cardiologists. Oh please. You've always been jealous. First you couldn't be happy about my promotion, now you're scheduling heart surgery, right during my party planning. She laughed bitterly. It's pathetic, Olivia. Mom nodded sympathetically at Natalie. Your sister does have a flair for drama. Remember her anxiety attacks in college? Those were panic attacks from an actual anxiety disorder. See? Always something. Dad waved his hand dismissively. Olivia, just reschedule. It's routine surgery anyway. They go in, fix the little valve, you're home in a day or 2. It's open heart surgery, Dad. They're stopping my heart and putting me on a machine. I'll be in ICU for days. Natalie rolled her eyes. Everything has to be about Olivia and her problems. I have one party, Olivia. One milestone celebration. Can you please just be supportive for once? The surgery happened on schedule. My colleague James took a week off to stay with me. My boss sent flowers. My parents sent a text. Hope your procedure goes well. Don't forget the party planning committee meeting next week. Dr. Morrison spent 6 hours repairing my valve. The surgery was more complex than expected. The valve had deteriorated significantly in just 8 weeks. I spent 4 days in cardiac ICU, every breath painful, chest cracked open and wired back together. James stayed the entire time, sleeping in the hospital chair, advocating with nurses, helping me take my first agonizing steps down the hallway. My parents visited once for 45 minutes. You look good, Mom said, eyeing my bandaged chest and drainage tubes. You'll be recovered for the party, right? We need you on decorations committee. Mom, I just had open heart surgery. Recovery takes months. Months? Dr. Morrison said routine valve repair. That's not months of recovery. You're being dramatic again. She pulled out her phone. Now about the party favors. Natalie wants personalized champagne flutes. Can you pick those up next week? I stared at her, unable to form words. Also, you've gained weight from the hospital stay. The bridesmaids, the party court, are wearing fitted dresses. You need to fit into yours. They left before my cardiac nurse came in for vitals. What my parents didn't know, what they'd never bothered to ask about, was that my venture capital work had recently shifted focus. 3 months ago, my firm had acquired a struggling hospital chain in Massachusetts. I'd been leading the due diligence, analyzing assets, recommending restructuring. One of those hospitals was where my parents both worked. Dad was chief legal counsel. Mom headed patient relations. Both had been vocal opponents of the acquisition, telling anyone who'd listen that corporate vultures were destroying healthcare. They didn't know the lead investor on the acquisition was me. They'd never asked about my work, never cared that I'd been promoted to partner 6 months ago. I was just Olivia, the dramatic younger daughter who wasn't a lawyer. The party planning continued without me. Natalie posted constant Instagram updates. Party prep with Mom. Olivia's too busy with her medical stuff to help. 4 weeks post-op, still experiencing chest pain and limited mobility, Natalie called with her final demand. The party's in 2 weeks. You're giving a speech about how amazing I am. Mom wrote it for you so you don't mess it up with your health drama. Natalie, I can barely walk upstairs. My sternum is still healing. Excuses. The surgery was a month ago. You're fine. Stop milking it for attention. Dr. Morrison saw me for my 6-week follow-up the week before the party. You're healing well, but you're pushing too hard. Your heart needs rest. Are you getting support at home? I told her everything. The dismissals, the routine surgery comments, being expected to plan party favors while recovering from open heart surgery. Dr. Morrison's jaw tightened. Your parents work in healthcare? Dad's chief legal counsel at Mercy General. Mom runs patient relations. Mercy General. The hospital that was just acquired. She paused. Olivia, I consult there. The new ownership is having an all-staff meeting next week to announce restructuring. I know. I'm leading it. Her eyes widened. You're the lead investor? My firm acquired the chain. I've been running the operational analysis. I pulled out my phone showing her the restructuring plans. We're implementing patient-centered care standards. Anyone in leadership who doesn't demonstrate basic understanding of medical protocols will be replaced. Dr. Morrison looked at the documents, then at me. Your parents have no idea? They've never asked about my work. They think I'm some low-level analyst. The staff meeting is the same day as your sister's party. I know. Something shifted in Dr. Morrison's expression. I'll be presenting the new cardiac care protocols at that meeting. Would you like me to include a case study on family medical dismissal? I met her eyes. Yes. The party was on Saturday evening. The staff meeting was Saturday morning. I arrived at Mercy General at 8 a.m. in a tailored suit, my firm's executive team behind me. The auditorium filled with hospital staff. Hundreds of employees, including department heads and executives. My parents sat in the third row, Dad checking his phone, Mom whispering to a colleague. Neither noticed me standing backstage. Our CEO opened the meeting. Thank you for coming. As you know, this hospital has been acquired by Blackstone Ventures. We're implementing immediate changes to improve patient care and operational efficiency. Dad shifted in his seat. Mom's expression was skeptical. I'd like to introduce our lead investor and restructuring director, who will outline the new standards. The CEO gestured to me. Olivia Patterson. I walked on stage. The auditorium went silent. My mother's face drained of color. Dad's mouth fell open. Good morning, I said, my voice carrying clearly. I've spent 3 months analyzing this hospital's operations. I've reviewed patient satisfaction scores, staff performance metrics, and leadership effectiveness. I pulled up a slide. One concerning pattern emerged. Family members of hospital leadership reported significantly lower satisfaction with their own care experiences here. They felt dismissed, minimized, and unsupported during serious medical crises. Mom gripped the armrest. I'd like to share a case study. A 29-year-old patient diagnosed with severe mitral valve regurgitation requiring emergency open-heart surgery. 2 cardiologists confirmed the surgery was life-threatening and time-sensitive. I paused. The patient's family, both senior staff at this hospital, called it routine and optional. They suggested the patient was being dramatic. They told her to postpone life-saving cardiac surgery for a birthday party. The auditorium erupted in whispers. Dad's face flushed red. The patient underwent 6-hour open-heart surgery. Spent 4 days in cardiac ICU. Required months of recovery. While her family asked her to pick up party favors and fit into a dress. My voice hardened. That patient was me. And my parents, who work here in senior leadership, couldn't recognize the severity of open-heart surgery in their own daughter. Natalie was in the audience. She'd come to confront me about missing party setup. She stood abruptly. "Olivia, stop this." "Sit down, Natalie." I didn't look at her. "Dr. Morrison, would you present the cardiac care findings?" Dr. Morrison took the podium. "I performed Ms. Patterson's valve repair. It was one of the most critical cases I've handled this year. The valve had deteriorated to the point where she was weeks from heart failure." She looked directly at my parents. When I heard that hospital leadership had called this routine and optional, I questioned their fitness to make medical policy decisions. She pulled up slides showing cardiac protocols. Under new ownership, any staff member who demonstrates fundamental misunderstanding of medical severity, especially cardiac surgery, will be removed from patient-facing roles. The CEO returned to the microphone. "Effective immediately, we're restructuring leadership. Several positions are being eliminated or reassigned based on demonstrated judgment failures." He read names. My father's name was on the list. My mother's name was on the list. These individuals will transition to non-clinical administrative roles pending review of their understanding of medical protocols and patient care standards. Dad stood, his face purple. "This is retaliation." "It's accountability," I said calmly. "You told your daughter to postpone open-heart surgery for a party. You called cardiac failure routine. You demonstrated that personal convenience matters more than life-threatening medical conditions. That's disqualifying for hospital leadership." Mom cried. Natalie screamed. The room was chaos. I closed the meeting. "Details will be emailed Monday. We're done." My parents tried to approach me. Security stopped them. Natalie chased me outside. "You ruined everything," she yelled. "Your party still goes on," I said. "Just without rich parents. You betrayed family. I had open heart surgery and you handed me champagne flutes. That's what you did to family." That night, the party looked empty on Instagram. Guests canceled. The yacht club looked sad. On Monday, my parents sent a lawyer's letter. Our team replied with medical proof, doctor's testimony, and hospital policy. The lawsuit vanished in a week. Natalie stopped talking to me. My parents emailed, "You've destroyed this family." I deleted it. But hospital staff thanked me. Nurses ignored, patients dismissed, families silenced. They finally felt heard. The hospital changed. Satisfaction rose. Staff stayed. Dr. Morrison became chief of cardiology. 6 months later, I was healthy again. I was promoted to senior partner. I bought a home in Boston far away. My parents reached out twice. Through grandma, they've learned their lesson. Through a colleague, they want to apologize. But money lessons aren't real lessons. And late apologies aren't real apologies. A year later, I celebrated my recovery with James, my colleagues, and Dr. Morrison. We toasted survival and accountability. Natalie texted, "I'm getting married. You're not invited." I smiled and deleted it. I had learned. Some families only value you when you have power. By then you've already learned to live without them. 2 years later I thrived. My firm grew, fixing more hospitals. I spoke at conferences about trusting doctors. And I never looked back. Because those who failed me taught me one truth. The best self-care is walking away from people who can't see your worth. And building a life they can never diminish again.